Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist. I own 52 units of real estate and I help coach people to buy their first multifamily deal. So today I want to talk about why ambiguity, vagueness creates more anxiety and makes it seem more scary than it is. So example I want to use is, for me, the thought of having children and the expenses associated with having children was creating me a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, and is honestly holding me back from doing my, financial independence, retire early movement, right? Despite obtaining close to $7 million net worth, despite obtaining $10,000 a month in positive cash flow, and despite obtaining a decent emergency reserve because I have a real estate portfolio, right? And obviously I can make moves to de-risk and de-leverage my portfolio. I could sell my first single family home I bought in the Bay Area that I house hacked in 2017, use that equity, pay capital gains tax, pay depreciation recapture, and then pay off my primary residence to wipe off my mortgage of $5,500 a month, right? Obviously I can do that. And I can 1031 exchange another property that doesn't cash flow at all, and then 1031 exchange that into a cash flow market like Huntsville, Alabama, where I can buy a bunch of new construction with like 35% down. And, they'd rent out for like $2,000 a month on average, and cash flow, maybe $300 a month each, right? So there's a way to juice up my income and juice up my cash flow. But it's going to require obviously doing a 1031 exchange and then leveraging a bit more as I aim towards retirement. So obviously there's multiple moves I can make where I could sell property, pay off my mortgage, lose an expense. So I can sell property that breaks even in cash flow to wipe off my $5,500 a month mortgage, lowering my expenses by $5,500 a month. I can sell another property, which cash flows a little bit, but use it to pay off my 2 apartment complexes, and that would wipe off about another $5,000 in mortgages. So essentially I would lower my expenses by about $10,000 a month by just selling 2 properties and then having, cash reserves that I can allocate towards index funds or to buy the next deal. So I can literally sell my first 2 properties and then I could obtain that, right? I could pay off both my apartment complexes, my 20 unit, my 26 unit, and my primary residence by selling 2 properties with high equity right now, right? So what was holding me back was I didn't know how much kids were cost. Like, I always just thought kids were expensive. Like, people say kids are a mortgage. So I literally just asked ChatGPT. I was just like, hey, how much does it cost for a family of 4 to live in a high cost of living area like Los Angeles? Right? I literally asked ChatGPT that, and it gave me this nice organized chart. I'm going to do a screen share this weekend, asking the prompt, and then it can show you the graphs and the tables. But it basically broke down how much it costs to raise kid 1, kid 2 over the span of 18 years. And on average, it came out to be about $2,000 a month per kid in Los Angeles right now. So if I have 2 kids, that's $4,000 a month in Los Angeles right now, right? So I just like, okay, well, $4,000 a month is almost like paying rent or almost like having a mortgage at this point, right? So that's why I say kids are a mortgage. So I just said, okay, well, now that I know that's $4,000 a month, I'm not as scared, right? And this is assuming that the kid's healthy, no health issues, so perfectly normal kid for the most part and healthy kid. But it basically assumes that it's $4,000 a month. So I said, okay, that's not as scary as I thought. Like, now, literally, I just need to get $4,000 a month in cash flow from real estate so I can 1031 exchange a property, pay off both my apartment complexes, which wipes off $5,000 a month in expenses, which means my cash flow increases by $5,000 a month, and that $5,000 a month in increased cash flow is enough to cover kid 1 and kid 2 in a high cost of living area like Los Angeles, right? Another thing is I could sell a house and then pay off my primary residence, which wipe off my $5,000 a month mortgage. Now I can allocate that $5,000 towards my kid, right? So I'm fortunate where I could do both. I could literally sell property, pay off my primary, save $5,000, sell another property, pay off both apartments because the loans are not that big, and then basically lower my expenses by $10,000, which increases my cash flow by $10,000, which can easily cover my $4,000 expense for my kids, right? So I was just like, they're not as expensive as I thought, right? And I think I looked it up, and it was about $150K a year on the high end. So it's about $100 to $150K a year to raise a family of 4 in Los Angeles, assuming that you have a paid off house, right? And I was just like, okay, well, if I increase my current cash flow is like $10,000 a month, right? And let's just say I'm forced to sell a property that cash flows $1,000 a month, and one property is break even, and I use those equity, so I'm at $9,000 a month. to pay off my primary and to pay off my 2 apartments. Now I increased my cash flow by $10,000 a month. So now I'm getting about $19,000 a month in positive cash flow, which is about, let's just call it $200,000 a year, with some reserves baked in there. And that's enough to cover my lifestyle, right? That's really enough. And what's crazy to me is like I did this in like 12 years, like 2013 till to 2025, where I kind of hit my net worth around 2024, if I'm being honest. So about 12 years of grinding, 12 years of basically trying to make more money and keeping my expenses exactly the same. In the 12 years, I learned to invest in real estate, learned to invest in multifamily, learned to house hack, learned to invest in index funds, max fund life insurance, which is controversial and people shit on. But for, like, once again, whole life insurance, in my opinion, if you want to have it, it's for higher net worth individuals, and there's a lot of higher net worth individuals who don't want whole life insurance either, right? So it's a different kind of investment tool, but it's not the greatest investment, right? Just like a primary residence, it's not the greatest investment, but in my opinion, I think eventually everyone wants their own primary residence, own place to live. So it's really interesting to see that I did that in like 12 years, and I was just like, like I achieved all my goals, and it didn't, like, people say you overestimate what you do in 1 year, underestimate what you can do over like 10 years, and this is a complete example of that. I'm just like, wow, I didn't realize that I basically could cover everything and not have to work anymore. And now I'm choosing to work, right? And still motivated to work because I want to learn, still want to earn, and want to buy more assets. And obviously it's a bad time right now, so having streams of income as I build other streams of income is there. But I just told like Christine, I'm like, dude, the moment we have kid one, like, you don't even have to work anymore. Like, I just need to like sell a property, pay off the house. So if you don't want to work, I'm going to have to sell a property to pay off our primary residence. Or if you just want to work part-time, then we can still probably sustain our mortgage, right? So if I'm full-time, she's part-time, we can still sustain our mortgage. But if she's full-time stay-at-home mom, then it's going to make it a little more comfortable if obviously I sell a property, pay off my mortgage, and then I'm still working. But if I want to be not work either, then I for sure have to sell a property, right? So we both don't want to work. I need to sell a home, pay off a home, and then maybe make another move to boost up my cash flow, right? And obviously for me, like, when I say retire early, it just means retire from a pharmacist career and going into like my coaching, YouTube business, or like just working whatever I want to work on, and not to be tied to like money and to be tied to things. Because I was just telling like Christine, I'm like, it'd be kind of cool if like, so basically my passive income between my real estate and then the 4% rule on my my stock portfolio is enough to cover our lifestyle, assuming you have a paid off house and assuming you have a kid, a family of 4, and this is at the higher end of living, right? So it's about 100 to 150K is like the range to live a family of 4. I think me and Christine are probably on the lower end, I would say, of 100,000 for a family of 4, because we're very intentional and conscious in how we spend, and we're very good at like finding deals, and like we actually enjoy doing that, right? Like we actually enjoy doing that, but I like to be conservative and assume the higher end expense, right? Because you never know what's going to hit you, and maybe your lifestyle inflate, right? Obviously, traveling with family of 4 is more expensive, so there might be some lifestyle inflation in addition to that. So I'd say 150K. But my passive income between my real estate and index funds, 4% rule, covers that right now. But I was just like, hey, if I, let's just say, became a real estate agent, and let's say I sold a house got $30,000 in commission, and after taxes that's $20,000 in commission, I'm like, hey, like we can like treat ourselves to like a nice vacation. So it's kind of motivational. Like, hey, if I sell a property, which I don't need to sell a property, or like make $30,000 through coaching or through like selling realtor commissions, I can just be like, hey, like I don't need this money. Like after taxes, I get $20,000. Let's just go on a nice trip, and I spend $20,000 to go on a nice trip, or go $10,000 for 2 trips, right? So it's kind of a little bit funner. I'm like, oh, okay. Like if I make money elsewhere that I don't need right now, I can use that to have fun, right? I could use that to go on a trip. I can use that to go buy something that I don't need, right? So like that's when you start living life, like and doing what you want to do on your terms, and it's quite interesting knowing that I can do that. So it's kind of really making me enjoy my W2 job more, where like I'm like, wow, I'm like choosing to be here because I want to be here, not because I have to be here. So it's like a different mindset to have. But most people just like don't even question it. They're on autopilot. I need to go to work because I need money, because I need to pay for my mortgage, right? Because your average pharmacist buys a $1.5 million to $2 million house, and then Their monthly cost is going to be $10,000 a month, and you're tied to your mortgage forever if you have that type of job. Like I know a lot of farmers work 3 jobs, 1 full-time job and 2 per diem jobs because they need to do that to avoid to pay their mortgage. And I'm like, dude, you have a family of 4. Like you're working so much that you never see your family, right? They literally get off one job and go to another job. And I'm just like, I don't want to live that way. I'd rather just live more frugally, have a smaller house, but be able to have the freedom to just work full-time and only full-time and not like 2-3 jobs, and then I have the option to like leave my job, right? So for me, I spent my time not working on W2 and a second, third job. I spent my time learning to invest in real estate, learning to invest in how to keep my expenses low and how to like compound that over time, right? So like I could have easily just worked and spent my time working, but I'd rather spend that time learning, higher income skills compared to pharmacy. So anyways, hopefully you learned about why, things that are scary and unknown are ambiguous and creates anxiety. But once you attach some hard numbers to that, or you get clarity as to what it is, it's not as scary as I thought. So now that I know kids are $4,000 a month for 2 kids, I'm like, that's not even that bad, right? Like I could plan for that accordingly by selling off a house or increasing my cash flow. So anyways, if you want to buy multifamily real estate with some guidance, click on my link tree down below. From there, you could see the links. You can send me an email if you want a discount code. Otherwise, let me know what questions you have. Hopefully this was valuable to you. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.